From the Mill Theatre Company are bringing their 4-star show to the 2015 Buxton Fringe. Company directors Jennifer Campbell and Tom Hodson explain how the company was formed.
So From the Mill, we formed probably about 2 years ago now. Yeah. So we met at an adult acting class at the Lowry, and we were just kind of doing some devising work and just kind of happened to form a group together, really. It was by accident, wasn't it?
There were 4 of us, and we all kind of formed because we'd all missed the week before, because I think was everyone ill?
I think everyone had various reasons, and so it just kind of happened. We turned up, everybody else was in a group, so we were sort of left to be our own little group.
Yeah, it was kind of nice because we were sort of the group that were latched together at the end. No one really thought we would do anything particularly good, and then we created Life's Witness, which has gone on to become the show that we're bringing to Buxton. So yeah, it's been amazing.
So is this your first production, is that right?
We've performed Life's Witness a few times before, but it's sort of changed each time in between. So it started off as this 20-minute devised piece at the Lowry, and we then won kind of best devised piece, which made us realise that actually we thought we had something pretty good. So we developed it into an hour-long piece, and we performed that at the Page to Stage Festival in Liverpool last year, and then sort of kind of taking a bit of feedback from audience members and from the cast members as well. We've sort of reworked it a little bit, and this is, I guess, what we like to think of as our finished piece, Life's Witness.
Yeah, we were sort of looking for the next kind of place to take Life's Witness, and we've not done any fringes before, so sort of Buxton's our first taste of the fringe, and because it's quite local, we thought it would be a really nice one to sort of start with. And
we know it's a very successful fringe as well, so we thought it's great because it's on our doorstep, and it's also a really great festival. So
and we've got friends from Manchester that have done the fringe and said the audiences are amazing, so yeah, really excited.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a bit about Life's Witness then?
So Life's Witness is basically a live television interview, and a famous author comes to speak on the television programme thinking that he's going to be being asked about his career and his latest book, when he's actually going to be asked about allegations that have dogged his career. Life's Witness is kind of special because the audience, when they come to see us, they take on the role of the television audience, so they're actually part of the play, and the audiences get to see what's happening live on television, but they also get the chance to go into Nathan's mind and see the truth behind some of the answers that he gives. There's much more to the story than Nathan lets on, and the audience get to see that.
It's quite interesting, especially because, we've had the election and people have been watching a lot of these interviews that get very heated, and, people get backed into corners and this sort of thing. So it's, very current, isn't it?
And we kind of base it on, there was a lot of, when you see a lot of interviews, you can spot people that have rehearsed answers, and when someone asks them a question and they don't really answer the question back, they just sort of say what they want to say, and we wanted to kind of show, an interview is only interesting if people actually expose themselves a bit and give some details that are interesting. So
I think we sort of, the origins of the idea came from, we wanted to look at how famous people in particular might appear one way in the media, but actually there's a lot more that you don't know about them, and also how people are sort of willing to do anything in order to kind of make a name for themselves. So yeah, as Tom said, it's really interesting to be able to see when, I suppose, Nathan goes from these rehearsed answers into questions that he wasn't expecting, and kind of having to make answers that he wasn't expecting to have to answer.
And so it's also for the audience as well, kind of being an audience and then playing the part of an audience, I guess, as well, really interactive.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for them to really feel involved in the piece, because I think for us, we want to make theatre that audiences can feel like they might be involved in everyday life. So nothing that's massively over dramatic or necessarily tackling any major issues, but just something that the audiences can relate to a little bit. And so I think by feeling that they're part of the show, it's a great way for them to actually get lost in it and maybe actually forget that they're in the theatre and just feel like they're just doing something in their everyday life.
It's quite a good show for people that have never really been to the theatre as well, because most people have seen a television interview, kind of understand how that works, and this is kind of a way of seeing a bit of theatre, but kind of with a bit of a television taste as well.
So does the interview get quite intense, sort of, as it goes on and he reveals more of himself? Would you say that that's a good word to describe the show?
Yeah, I think intense is actually a really great way to describe it. It's sort of, as you go on, it gets a little bit more confused. You can tell he's getting a little bit more confused and a little bit more stressed as it goes on. So yeah, it does definitely kind of build this intensity and this tension as you go through, which I think is really great, because then obviously you kind of come to this climax at the end, which is very powerful.
And you see sort of, as the author Nathan starts to struggle to answer questions, other things start to spill into the studio. So we have the interviewer and the author being interviewed, but we also have other people entering this space sort of in Nathan's memory. So the audience gets to see lots of different things in one go. So it's not just a static interview, there's lots of other things happening, and it gets slightly stranger, slightly more absurd as things go on.
And I suppose as the stress levels build within Nathan, that's when the confusion between reality and maybe his memory kind of becomes stronger.
It's really interesting. I was wondering about the staging, because you don't want two people just sort of sat there down and chat, do you?
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, no, that sounds really interesting. And so you're coming to the Buxton Fringe, as we've mentioned.
Yeah.
When are your performances?
So we've got 6 dates between the 12th and the 21st of July it is. So we've got a couple in each, sort of during the week in the evenings with each week, and then some at the weekends as well, which are matinee performances. They're at 2:00.
And we're playing at the United Reformed Church. So all the details are available on the Buxton Opera House website, and we have our own website as well that people can look at.
It's www.fromthemilltc.com.